Hi guys and welcome to DriveSpark. I'm Promeet and today we are finally riding the Yezdi motorcycles. Well, Yezdi is back with a bang and it has launched 3 new motorcycles in the Indian market, and what you see over here is the all new Yezdi Roadster. So without ado, let's start this video and I will tell you everything you need to know about this Roadster motorcycle. So guys, let's talk about the Yezdi Roadster, and before that I would like to mention that if you want to go check out our first look video, the link is in the description and you can go and check out that video because we have spoken about all the specifications and all the accessories that the Yezdi Roadster has. So yeah guys, and apart from that we have also ridden the Adventure and the Yezdi Scrambler. So the link is in the description. Please go check it out if you have missed it. Now let's start off with the Roadster motorcycle. So first of all, let's talk about the stance of the motorcycle. So before that, I would like to swing my legs and show you how exactly will you sit on this. So as you can see that this is a very low slung motorcycle and you actually sit really low and the seat is absolutely comfortable. You have a riding stance that is very upright. The handlebar is canted towards the rider. You can obviously adjust it according to your need, and you can see that the foot pegs are placed correctly and they are placed slightly forward so that the rider can have a comfortable riding position and can easily cruise on the highway without tiring out. I mean, you cannot stand and ride this motorcycle. I mean, obviously to avoid some bumps you can stand up, but standing and riding this motorcycle is not at all advisable. Let us talk about the seat. So this has a split seat. Now you can see that this has a contour and the rider fits perfectly. I mean, you just sink in the seat and it has a lot of cushioning, so the seat is very comfortable. On long rides this will not tire you out. We are driving this bike on the highway. I mean, it's a short ride, a first ride, so we have been riding these motorcycles on the highway. We could not ride them in the city. On the highway for like around 50 to 60 kilometers we rode. It was absolutely comfortable. It gets a split seat. Now you can see that the pillion seat is slightly narrow towards the end, but it has a lot of cushioning, and you also get a backrest that is a pretty sturdy backrest, and this also has a ton of cushioning in it, so the pillion will be very comfortable, I'm sure. Now this backrest comes standard, so you do not need to go to the accessory market or an aftermarket backrest, so this will be available with the motorcycle. So now let's talk about the engine on the Yezdi Roadster. So it's the same engine that is on the Adventure and on the Scrambler. So basically all the bikes are powered by the same 334 single cylinder liquid cooled DOHC engine, and this is also mated to a 6-speed gearbox. Now the gearbox is same on all the motorcycles. The gearbox is absolutely smooth. There is no clunkiness in the gearbox. The shifts are butter smooth, and it also gets a slipper clutch, so that makes it easy, and the clutch is actually very light, and in stop and go traffic you will not have a problem. Now speaking about one more change that the company has done, now you see that the radiator which is there, now usually the coolant flows on the upwards direction in other motorcycles, but on this the coolant is flowing sideways, so that helps improve the heat dissipation. And we will definitely get you a full road test review of this motorcycle sometime later in a couple of weeks, maybe in a couple of days, when this motorcycle is available with us, and that time we will tell you in stop and go traffic how effective this thing is, whether the engine is heating up or the heat is being dissipated and not burning your legs. So now let's talk about the performance figures and the power figures on this motorcycle. This is the second powerful motorcycle. First is the Adventure, then is the Roadster, and the least powerful is the Scrambler. This produces 29.7 PS of power at 7,300 RPM and 29 Nm of peak torque at 6,500 RPM. The power delivery is absolutely smooth. It is actually linear, but you have I mean, this is quick off the line, but again you have a decent mid-range, and the top end again it kind of tapers down because if you see the power graph goes up and it is slightly stable and then it falls down. So I mean, top end, do not expect this motorcycle to be extremely fast, but this is definitely quick off the line. And this is the second heaviest motorcycle out of the three. First is the Adventure, then is this, and the lightest is the Scrambler. Now we did not get to ride it in the city, but we definitely rode it on the highway, and let me tell you that the stance on this motorcycle is brilliant, and coupled with this engine and this power output, it's almost around, you can say it's around 30 bhp and 29 Nm. To be precise, it's 29.7, but you can say it's around 30 bhp and 29 Nm. So I mean, the power and the torque output is almost the same, so the motorcycle is pretty grunty and it definitely moves quickly off the line. and if you want to overtake someone, at that time you will have to downshift, because again the torque figures are slightly less. If this motorcycle could have like 3 to maybe 5 Nm more, then you would not have any problem. You could just like gas it out and it will go. But right now in this state of tune, you will have to downshift to overtake someone on the highway. And one more thing guys, do not take this motorcycle off-road, because Yezdi, the Adventure and the Scrambler, both are, the Adventure is obviously a full-fledged off-roader, because this has the least amount of ground clearance at 175 mm. So definitely it will bottom out at any place that has a big bump or a big stone. But still guys, this definitely gets a bash plate just like the Adventure and the Scrambler. So you can see that the metal bash plate is, I mean, it's actually a very strong metal bash plate, and it will protect the engine from the debris and the stones that are thrown by the tire. So yeah, that's a really nice thing, and the radiator and the engine both will be saved because of this bash plate. So now let's talk about the suspension setup on the Roadster. So at the front you get telescopic front forks. So at the rear you get twin shock absorbers. Again, these shock absorbers at the rear can be adjusted for preload. There are 5 settings. The company gives it to you at the 3rd setting, that is at the center. And at the front, if you see, the rake angle of the motorcycle is slightly canted towards the front, so that actually gives you a proper riding stance, and the suspension setup is actually very comfortable. I mean, obviously you will not take it off-roading, but on-road, because of the suspension setting, the seat and the riding stance, the Roadster is the most comfortable motorcycle out of the lot. So the braking duties on the Yezdi Roadster is handled by, you can see there's a disc at the front and a disc at the rear. So the front disc is a 320 mm disc plate and the rear is a 240 mm. Again, it gets a dual channel ABS, but unlike the Adventure and the Scrambler, the Roadster does not get any ABS modes. Like in the Scrambler you had off-road, you had road and you had rain. This does not get, so basically you cannot switch off the ABS, and I mean it's just there, so it will be on all the time, which is actually a good thing, especially during rainy seasons. So as you can see that this gets alloy wheels, the other motorcycle gets spoke wheels. So this has a 18-inch alloy at the front and a 17-inch alloy at the back. The tire profile is 100 at the front and a 130 at the back. I mean, if you see it from behind, the tire is pretty chunky and the bike looks absolutely fantastic. Now there's one more thing I need to tell you, is that this has a twin exhaust setup and the head has 2 exhaust outlets. Basically you have 2 downpipes and then 2 exhausts coming from either end. Coupled with this tire, this motorcycle looks absolutely fantastic, and especially in this shade, you can see this looks absolutely fantastic from the rear end. So guys, other highlighting features on the Roadster is that you get an LED headlight, you get an LED tail light, but unlike the Adventure and the Scrambler, you do not get LED indicators. So you get halogen instead of LED bulbs. But over here you can see you get a single instrument cluster, that's again digital. All 3 bikes feature the same instrument cluster, but over here you can opt the turn-by-turn navigation like it's an accessory. You have to buy it from the Yezdi store, and this does not get a charger unlike the other 2. So you have a slot over here and you can buy the charger from the accessory store and you can install it, and there is no need for you to cut or maybe like to join the wires for the charger. There is a dedicated slot that is placed underneath the tank, so you can just couple it up. So there is no need for you to cut a wire and then tape it. It's a coupler to coupler fitting. And guys, this also has a fuel tank capacity of around 12.5 liters. It is pretty decent for a cruiser motorcycle like this, and you will not need to stop between fuel pumps very often. So guys, this is the all new Yezdi Roadster, and the price for this motorcycle starts at 1,98,000, and this is available in 5 different shades, and this is one of my favorite shades, which is called the smoke grey. It's kind of a matte finished. So guys, once again, if you need to know anything else about this motorcycle, please mention down in the comment section and we will get back to you. Until then, if you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, share and subscribe to all our social media channels. I'm Promit signing out. See you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, be safe and ride safe.